For 50 years, the clinics have been a keystone to the USD Law experience. The clinics sit at the intersection of legal education and legal practice. They offer students an opportunity to serve those most in need in the community, while at the same time gain practical, hands-on experience. In 1970, the landscape of law in San Diego was very different than it is today. The federal government decreased legal aid funding by 2/3, reducing the access the community had to lawyers. However, the Board of Governors of the state of California promulgated rules that allowed students to be certified to practice law in court under the guidance of a supervising attorney. With the lack of community access and the ability of students to practice law with a supervising attorney, mixed with a very socially minded student population, it was a perfect environment for the birth of the legal clinics.
Our law students at the time saw the need in the community, and they wanted to do something besides the traditional book learning and traditional law and doctrinal classes that they had. So they said, we're going to start a clinic. They were able to simply because the State Bar had opened up legal services to certified law students. And they did that for the same reasons that you see so many clinics today that do so well and serve the community so much. And that is because there are not enough free legal services anywhere in the country, particularly in California.
From my understanding, it was like very Wild West. There wasn't a lot of supervision, so it was definitely very challenging, but the passion was there and the need was there. And I can imagine that there was a lot of landlord-tenant cases, basic civil litigation, basically poverty law. There's so many needs for low-income individuals.
Believe it or not, the original operating budget was only $1,000. There was one clinic, and it grew and grew. Today we operate 11 clinics, and we rely on grants, gifts, and support from the law school.
There's such a wide variety of clinics here, from the name and gender change clinic, which is for LGBTQ rights, to women's rights, to tax law rights. You can really find what you want to do.
The clinics evolved from a student-led kind of grassroots effort into what essentially is a full services law firm that operates here on campus.
The actual practice is something that oftentimes students aren't allowed to kind of really dig themselves into until much later on in their career. And so now, getting their feet wet while they're in law school, really allows them to apply some of the skills that they learn, some of the analytical skills, but to do it with real cases and make real impacts.
The student is the one who's really doing the work. So it'll be the student who reviews a case file, it'll be a student who meets with the client and conducts legal research. The student will be the one who makes the court appearance, that drafts the brief, that conducts the settlement negotiation. Of course, they're doing it under the guidance of a supervising attorney.
When they first come in, it's like a deer in headlights. They're like learning a new language, and they're overwhelmed, and then by the time they are out of here, they're pretty seasoned, and it's a night and day difference.
What we're doing here is not just teaching students the mechanics of how to be a lawyer, how to take a depo or how to draft a brief, but also kind of why we do this and why this work is so important and why these individuals in our community need that assistance and how you can help.
It hits differently when you're helping a real person compared to when you are just reading about a particular case. I think it's really important that we as future lawyers remember that the law, when applied, really does affect people's lives, and so that's what the clinic does.
My son told me it was the best class he took because it prepared him. We had numerous areas to establish scholarships or funds or whatever, but this really spoke to him for sure, and it sold me on it.
It's really important for the people who need the help to be able to come here and get help from law students, and it gives great experience to the people in the law school.
To sustain our clinics that we have now and to grow in the future, we're going to be relying even more and more on gifts, especially to grow some new clinics that students are interested in.
The legal clinics meet the evolving needs of the San Diego community, so the clinics will continue to evolve to figure out what those needs are and what the best ways are to serve them. What will remain the same is that the clinics will provide outstanding educational opportunities for our students while they work to help to transform the San Diego community. But all of that depends on our ability to continue to find the funds to support the clinics and to help them grow. And that's where the support of our alumni and other friends in the community is vital.